Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to automate the completion of parent and sub items. It can be really helpful to automate the process of completing a parent item if all sub items are complete, and vice versa. If the parent task or parent item is complete, then all the sub item tasks or sub items are complete. In this quick example I'll be showing, we can do just that. So if we mark the sub item is done, because that's the only sub item located under the parent item, status is marked as done. If we want to mark all sub items are done, if the parent item is done, we can do that as well. If we change the parent item is done, it'll mark all of the sub items as done. This came up with one of my past clients, and I think this easy Notion automation that we can set up so that we can streamline this process and remove that manual step of manually adjusting parent and sub item statuses. This can apply to other properties as well, but once you learn to configure it, you should be well on your way to customizing it to your current needs in your workspace. So I'm going to create a brand new page and start from scratch. Go to the lightning symbol and create a new trigger for when that status is marked as done. We'll do the easier automation first. When the parent item is marked as complete, let's mark all of the sub items as complete. We can do that with the new Notion automation variables, where we can define the subtasks through a formula. Instead of using the map formula, we can reference the trigger page and the sub item directly, because this trigger page works similarly to the map function. Now that we've defined all the sub items in relation to any parent item, we can use this variable to manipulate the status. We can edit the property. The cool aspect of these Notion formula automations is that we can reference the variable we just defined. We're referencing all the subtasks related to a parent item. We can edit specific properties related to that variable. So we can go status equals done, click on create. And if I add a sub item and mark this is done, the sub item gets marked as done. This is valuable where you can define the variable and then use that definition to modify properties as needed. When thinking about the other way around, we don't want the parent item marked as complete if not all sub items are marked as done. When it comes to conditional logic, it's important to create a trigger by adding a formula to verify all of the sub-item tasks are complete under that parent item. Another reason why I wanted to create this video is because there's a little bit of formulaception where we're using 3 different layers of formulas to create this automation. And although it might feel a lot of work for a very simple automation, I wanted to show you this because it can be practical for layering and nesting conditions specific to your workspace. One way we can verify all sub-items are marked complete is by using the map formula and making sure that the total number of sub-items is equal to the total number of sub-items that are marked as done. So we want to map the relation with sub-items. We want to extract the status, but then we also want to actually measure the number of sub-items that exist in relation to that parent item. And so remember, what we can do is do dot length, and that measures how many sub-items exist under that parent item. We only want to adjust the parent item if all sub-items are marked as done. And so one way we can verify that is by comparing this length of the total number of sub-items with the number of sub-items that are marked as done. And so one quick way we can do that is by setting it equal to the number of sub-items that are marked as done. And if it isn't, it'll show a checkbox that is empty. And if it is, it'll show a checkbox that is checked. Add another formula, map sub-item. I want to filter sub-item relations and verify the current status is equal to done. Once we verify that, we want to reference any property. In this case, it doesn't really matter because we were measuring length. Close it out. And then we want to do length to make sure that those line up. So here we're just saying, let's see if the number of related sub-items are equal to the number of related sub-items where status equals done. This is showing checkboxes for sub-items. That's not helpful and a distraction. Let's change the way we show that as well. But before we do that, let's verify that this formula works. If we mark this as done, we mark it this is done, notice how that formula at the top is checkboxed. We don't want to show this output for sub-items. We can create a condition to check if the parent item or sub-items is not empty. Sub-items have a parent relation and the parent items have a sub-item relation. We can create a condition that says if's not empty sub-item, let's show this, and if not, let's not show anything at all. Now we can remove those other checkboxes within the sub-item format. If we change this to done, we see the checkbox appear for the parent item. We're using this as a conditional filter to create automation where if all sub-items are done, change the status of the parent item to done. Now we can go to a new automation, change the status trigger to done. This is where we'll create a few more variables to verify that everything works. In our case, similar to the way that we defined a sub item, we can define a parent item by going to the formula icon, trigger page dot parent item. And so what that's going to allow us to do is modify the parent item we just defined. We only want to change the status to done when that formula that we just wrote is checkboxed. We need to reference that property and only change this parent item to done when all sub items are marked as done and verified through this checkbox. We want to define another variable where the checkbox is checked. If it is, we'll change the status to done. We can use the map formula and say the trigger page's parent item is equal to true. We can go to current dot and then go to the formula that we just wrote and then reference that property that we use as a condition for when all sub items are marked as complete. Now that we have this variable for checking our condition, we can use this variable to create additional conditional logic to only change the status when true. Instead of simply changing it to done, we're going to create another custom formula and say if the condition is true, change the status to done. If not, do nothing at all. And so we're going to save that and save that again. And so now let's test this formula automation. If we do done for one sub item, nothing happens because this condition is empty. But if we do done for this, notice how that condition changes. The status of that parent item will also change. So the reason why this is not working is because we are using an array. This map function pulls an array. In our case, we want to take the singular value we are referencing. And so in order to do a workaround, we want to do dot first. In our case, it could be dot first or dot last, assuming there's only one parent item related to these sub items. Change that to dot first, save it. So now if we change this to done, the parent item status will update to done. That simple map function and using the first or last formula function allows us to isolate the one property, not confusing the formula to reference more than it needs to. The reason I wanted to show you this is we're defining two variables, using one variable to nest another condition that we've created, and then we're also using another formula property to verify and use as another condition to create this automation process. This might have been a little confusing because I wanted to show you how powerful Notion formula automations are and how we can nest them in a variety of ways using this simple example. If you learned something from this video, please like and subscribe. See you in the next one.